Got to keep it real. Was hoping to come on here and wax lyrical about England and this run uh, Jude Bellingham has been on, and how I believe he's needs to be in a conversation of sort of the best players right now. Top five for me. To me, he is the best. We know Messi's still playing. He's playing in the MLS. I'm talking about guys playing in Europe across the top competitions. Um, but I can't. I wanted to come on here and bash Argentina for a plethora of reasons, but the video has changed. It's different now. And first of all, hats off to Argentina coming back that late in the game, scoring goals that quick. Um, Got to give him credit. Enzo, incredible shot. He had a shot just before the one he scored um, that troubled or made you think, oh man, something could be here, or England need to tighten up, and I'll get to that. Um, Shout out to Pickford. I think he's had a good tournament all season, or all tournament, and the whole time. And most of the game he did good today. I'd probably say all of the game. The shot from distance, I had to watch it back. I'm not sure as much he could have done for that. That was just that's got to be one of the shots of the tournament, even though it's come down to in the semifinal game. It has to be up there. And then Latoro comes in and gets the header. They had that look for a while coming in from that right side. I don't know why that wasn't shut down. I also wanted to big up another one of my favorite players, Jed Spence, for his effort, his fight, determination. However, late in that game when he was still on at least, in fact, I don't know, maybe he came off for the second one. I'm not sure. Either way, it was troubling down that right side. They weren't getting anything on the left at all, from what I can remember. Most of the things were coming centrally or to the right side, England's left, and I feel like there could have been done. There could have been more done to stop that. Tuchel, and he came out and said the team didn't play well in the win over Switzerland. I'm sorry, Denmark. Oh God, Norway. Sorry. Um, And for a coach, I give him that. Initially I thought, what's this guy talking about? But at the end of the day, you can say that about a lot of teams, even some of the teams that have gotten this far. They haven't played a complete game. They haven't played their best. But also in the World Cup, it's about winning. I mean, it's one and done. So you do what you got to do for that game, however it looks, and you get the win and you go on. That's how I look at it. Um, but is there anyone that's going to talk about him and the changes he made as early as he made them? 5-4-1. It's kind of early in the game to do that, in my opinion. You're bringing in Dan Burn. You're bringing in, Conte didn't start. He has Stone starting. I was fine with that choice. I thought the starting lineup for England was actually great. I don't know if I could have picked a better one. I haven't seen Kobe Mainoo much in this tournament. Before the tournament started, I would have liked to see more of him, but I know Anderson is sort of the talk of the town now, and of course Rice is going to have his spot. But back to Tuchel. To try to soak up pressure against the Argentinian team at that point with the players they have at their disposal, is sort of silly to me. You have one of the maybe ultimate, if not the best, keys to lock a bus, to unlock a bus, a back line, and Messi. And you saw at a point in the game they were just giving the ball to Messi and seeing if he can make something happen. He does get the assist for the second goal. I don't know if that's smart. I think you keep playing. That reeked of maybe too much respect, and it sort of reeked of I don't want to say giving up, but if that's if it's that look, if it comes out that they ended up defending for their lives and getting the win, okay, but they didn't. And after the first goal, you can see that 5-4-1 may not have been the best bet. But Argentina did the rope-a-dope on them. You back up everybody. You're defending across the box, and yet you leave that spot open. I want to say the ball may have ricocheted off Jude Bellingham's foot. I could be wrong. I need to see that replay again. But it's a crazy shot from Enzo, but it's a wide open one. And they had just had it, as I said before, just before that shot. So I don't. You got to be thinking that him or DePaul or someone's going to set up, pivot at that point, and take a shot from there. It was Enzo in the moment before, and then they got it again. I don't, you know, the second goal. I think Stones has got to get that. It's simple. You have to get that. Shout out to the pass and the assist for it, and Laturo getting up as high as he did to get it. But you see the replay. Stones has got to get that. You got to clear that. You have to. You have to clear that. But I mean, this is the game. This is the game that you wanted. Everything you, as a kind of fan I am, it had everything. That physicality, that fight, the trash talk. These teams really wanted to get at each other. There's several players that have played or do play in La Liga for Argentina and have gone against Jude Bellingham, and you can see that was the thing. At the end of the day, I don't think any South American player who isn't black fully respects, it seems this way, star black players. It's almost like they're saying, the nerve you have, who do you think you are being good at our sport? I don't want to go too much off a tangent, but you can see that, that whether it was the battle between Simeone down the right against Jet Spence, or it was take your pick of the names, but more so I would say, I forget the midfielder's name that was going back and forth with Jude. Jude even had a moment with Messi. So there's that, and that just adds to this is why I love this game. I love that, man, especially in World Cup. These countries really, really not only fighting for each other, the brothers on their team, but their country. In these World Cups, it's a beautiful thing to see the spirit. I'm not a big Messi guy, but to see his emotion this game, but a few games ago, the tears, the passion of being able to get back to another final, and to be honest, not having to play France. So, again, shout out to Argentina. I think I wouldn't have made the decision to go that defensive that early for that long. You're playing Argentina. You know what I mean? Like they clearly they showed that they could do it. And yeah, Messi didn't score a goal, but he was definitely part of the comeback that they had. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. It wasn't Messi who scored the goals to win the game. Yeah, he got the assist, but it was other dudes. One guy off the bench and Enzo, who I think for a while now people have known how thorough of a midfielder he is. Football wise, I don't mind bigging up Enzo. Off the field is another topic, but yeah, I kind of hate to say it. I wanted England to win this game. Again, Jude has been on a crazy run. Always liked Jude was the moment I've seen him play. And, it sucks to see them go out like that. But, again, big up to them. I think the guys that stood out for me, I got to speak about Gordon as well. I thought he's been phenomenal the whole tournament. Not him. He didn't score a bunch of goals, but his presence. And you can see why he's continued to start. And, I think Tuchel did great with the lineup. I don't think you could have gotten any better than that, to be honest. Again, I would have liked to see Maino a bit more throughout the tournament. This game, though, you're not going to get him in. So you sort of understood the 11 he'd go with. I also thought maybe Konsa would start, but again, Stones coming in, no big deal there. Reece James back in the squad. You kind of thought you'd see that, but tough way to go out, but this is the game. Anything can happen, and you got to be on it. There's no one that can talk about the refs in this game, corruption, or anything like that. It was a bad decision to make the choice to go defensive that early. If you're going to do that, you got to be sure that you're going to be. To concede two and you're going defensive, the whole idea is to keep them from scoring. They get two. That's the England team has to be kicking himself. And I think if Tuchel's honest with himself, he would say that maybe he went defensive too early. I don't think he'll say that, but. And that's just my opinion. I've never been a manager. I don't know. From what I'm seeing on the game, I feel like you don't need to go that defensive. Keep trying to put pressure on them. Pressure their defense. I felt for too long in the game, you just were trying to absorb Argentina. This isn't Switzerland. This isn't, I don't know, Belgium. No, all due respect to those teams, but this team has a Messi who's still playing at a good level. It's really strange to me. Really strange to me. They got Alvarez over there. They got dudes who can make things happen. McAllister, just different guys that can make things happen. I think the subs really made a big difference. DePaul, who I was kind of surprised to see not to play. I've always loved Rodrigo DePaul as a player, particularly Atletico. But these guys have done it before. That's the other thing. This is I hate to keep saying it, but this is Argentina. You know, I don't know the last time England has been in a final, if they ever have been. I don't know that history, but yeah, it's got to be a smarter decision there, in my opinion. It wasn't, and they paid a heavy price, and I don't think they needed to. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. Who knows? Again, if they kept playing just open and trying to put pressure on Argentina, would that have opened them up? I don't know, but I feel like the majority of the game, England had a good control of it for the most part until maybe around the 70th minute mark. I think that's when, Argentina started putting pressure on. Again, Pickford had some great saves today. I mean, amazing saves. And again, it just adds to the unfortunate. The story would have been nice to have Pickford be the guy who, played a major role in this game, getting them to the final. But yeah, I don't want to be sour, but I'm not really thrilled about watching the final. I'll probably end up watching it because just a little bit of the game, just to see what happens. But it is two Spanish-speaking countries, and so that's going to have a whole lot of things that go along with it. And there are players that I do like watching on both teams that I wouldn't mind seeing. So end up watching it most likely. But I didn't. This was the game today that I was looking forward to. The Spain-France game. I had a feeling, to be honest, that Spain might get one over them, and they did. I don't know what happened with France. To pick a semifinal to just absolutely not show up, it's strange to me. And Mbappe came on and talked about how they weren't able to stop what Spain was doing, but why not? Why? I mean, if you know what they do, what's your tactic to? I mean, it'd be one thing if we saw France really implementing something that looked as if they were trying to combat that, to oppose that, to do something to keep them from playing their game. I don't really remember seeing that. So the less said about the France Spain game is it's probably better not to say anything. There's not much to talk about. But this was the game today that I was looking forward to. And again, up until that 70th minute mark, well, throughout the whole game, it gave you everything you wanted. But yeah, there were so many highlight moments for me that England portrayed. Whether it was the goalkeeper, it was Jed Spence making last ditch tackles, the physicality, the fight between him and Simeone, and all of the back and forth between the players. Thought the game was ref pretty well. But yeah, the story is that Argentina, who are the defending champions, they showed why they are. And you got to just, no matter how you feel about Messi or Argentina or whatever, you got to give them credit. It's about football, and it's about coming out, showing your tactics, showing your grit, your fight, your determination, your mentality in tough times. You look at the Argentinian fans in the crowd, they couldn't even believe it. The second goal, they definitely couldn't. But the first one is just like, ooh, wow, we're back in this. Because most of the game, you start to think, damn, this isn't our year. We're about to, maybe this is England's year. You know what I mean? So been a really great tournament. I'm really, really happy. I'm glad that it was here in my home country, U.S. soil, and yeah, it just didn't. I definitely didn't want a France Argentina. So I got what I wanted. I got Argentina and Spain, but I definitely didn't want a rematch of the last World Cup. But yeah, tough for England. Just really, really, really tough, man. Heart goes out to them. But I just think the manager may need to take this one on the chin, to be honest. But that's me, man. Probably come back for the final. Have little words for that if I watch it. No, just kidding. I'll watch it. But I'll probably be back for that. But that's me. Till next time.